Imagine a world without interactive websites. No dynamic buttons, no live chats, no smooth animations. Just static pages forever frozen in time. In the mid-1990s, this was almost reality. The internet, as we know it, stood at a crossroads. And in the span of just 10 days, one man wrote a language that changed the digital world forever. This is the story of JavaScript, and the man who created it. The internet of the early 1990s was a different place. Websites were lifeless, filled with nothing more than static text and images. If you wanted to interact with a page, you couldn't. Everything had to be refreshed, reloaded, and processed on the server. But the digital world was growing. Netscape, one of the first powerful web browsers, wanted to change everything. They envisioned a future where websites weren't just documents but living applications. But for this dream to come alive, the world needed something new. A programming language, one that could live inside the browser. In 1995, Netscape made a bold decision. They hired a young programmer named Brendan Eich. He was tasked with a nearly impossible mission: create a new language, fast. Eich had only 10 days. But why Eich? Why JavaScript? And why such urgency? To understand this, we must look deeper into the war of the browsers. In the 1990s, a fierce battle was brewing. Netscape wanted to dominate the internet. But looming in the shadows was Microsoft with its own browser, Internet Explorer. The competition wasn't just about design, it was about power. Whoever controlled the web browser controlled the future of the internet. Netscape needed something unique. A weapon. A language that could bring websites to life and make them more than just static documents. That's when Eich stepped in. In just 10 days, Brendan Eich created the first version of a language initially called Mocha, later renamed LiveScript, and finally, JavaScript. But JavaScript wasn't meant to compete with giants like Java or C++. It had a different purpose. It was built for the web, for everyone. A lightweight, flexible language that even non-programmers could pick up quickly. Eich combined the syntax of C, the object orientation of Java, and the functional power of Scheme. The result was a hybrid language that would soon run on every browser in every corner of the world. The answer to why JavaScript was created is simple and yet profound. It was born out of necessity. Netscape needed a scripting language that could work directly inside the browser. Something fast, simple, and powerful enough to make the web interactive. It was created to bridge the gap between designers and developers, giving websites the ability to react instantly to user actions without relying on servers. In other words, JavaScript gave the web its soul. At first, JavaScript was underestimated. Critics dismissed it as a toy language, a quick hack, a tool for pop-up alerts, and little more. But slowly, the world began to realize its potential. JavaScript grew stronger. Frameworks emerged. From simple scripts, it evolved into the backbone of modern web development. Today, JavaScript runs on billions of devices. It powers websites, mobile apps, even servers. Without it, giants like Facebook, Google, or YouTube might never have existed in the form we know. But imagine if Brendan Eich had failed. If JavaScript had never been written, the web would have remained frozen, static. Interaction would have been slow, server-dependent, clunky. The dream of dynamic, real-time web applications would have been delayed for decades. Perhaps another language might have risen. But would it have been as simple, as flexible, as universal? Or would the internet have fractured into 1,000 incompatible pieces? JavaScript's creation sparked a chain reaction. Its simplicity invited millions of new coders. Its ubiquity forced every browser to adopt it. Its versatility allowed developers to push boundaries until the browser itself became a platform for entire applications. What began as a 10-day experiment became the foundation of the modern web. The story of JavaScript teaches us something vital. Innovation does not always come from perfection. Sometimes it comes from urgency, from compromise, from one person daring to create under impossible pressure. JavaScript may not have been flawless, but it was good enough. And that was enough to change the world. So, who invented JavaScript? Brendan Eich. But the better question is, why? The answer lies not just in code, but in vision. In the belief that the web could be alive, interactive, human. But this story raises another question. What if Java had never existed? How different would our digital world look today?